just finished a video call with my husband. I turned and got into the same car that old He had driven last time. They initially wanted to seek some thrills. To my surprise, the freshly filled gas tank unexpectedly showed empty. Left with no choice, old He had to head to the nearest gas station. What he didn't realize was, someone tampered with my car long ago. While Lao He was busy refueling, his hands and feet were occupied. A woman went to the supermarket and bought a coffee. But when he went to the front desk to pay, he found the place completely empty. He left the money on the counter. He then got ready to head out. Looking up, she was shocked to find the counter covered in blood and immediately sensed something was wrong. He quickly turned and fled in panic, but paused at that moment. A bullet suddenly appeared from nowhere, instantly piercing the woman's shoulder. Before he could process what was happening, another shot landed nearby. Seeing this, the woman ignored the pain and acted quickly ducked behind the shelves. He shouted loudly, calling for old He outside. Old He was blasting music in the car and didn't hear a thing. The woman tore her clothes, hastily bandaged the wound, then peeked out to assess the situation. The woman was utterly terrified. No matter how desperately she cried for help, old Black remained completely unresponsive. He recalled his misplaced phone. He cautiously crawled toward the phone, but the other person clearly noticed his intention. He shot the phone and instantly destroyed it. The woman ducked behind the shelves again, instantly overcome by despair. But just at that moment, the intercom on the counter unexpectedly buzzed to life.
Pick up Amelia.
Hearing the man call for the shop assistant, the woman's hope was instantly reignited. As a result, she decisively stood up and struggled to grab 2 bags of chips. He tossed a bag upward. Swords indeed draw assassins like moths to a flame. Pay attention as the woman steadies her breathing. He quickly rose to his feet again, repeating the same move. Grabbing the walkie-talkie, she quickly explained the situation and urged them to call the police immediately. Unfortunately, the other party stopped responding, and at the same time, the fuel warning light flashed again in Lao He's car, and he stepped out for no apparent reason. Upon closer inspection, we found a hole in the fuel tank. Old He cursed under his breath, then yanked out the car keys. He headed straight for the woman, but the moment he entered the supermarket, the assassin struck. A bullet pierced his throat, and he collapsed heavily, dying without ever knowing what had happened. I watched helplessly as old He died before my eyes. The woman shed tears in sheer terror. Luckily, the radio crackled to life again at that moment. She seemed to cling to a lifeline of hope. After obtaining the walkie-talkie from Topa, he cried out for help to them once more. Unexpectedly, the person simply apologized after hearing him out. Upon hearing her husband's voice, the woman was instantly terrified unexpectedly. At that moment, the person correctly called out her name again. Then the woman suddenly felt a chill run down her spine. He picked up the walkie-talkie again, demanding to know who it was, but the man avoided answering, only taunting him playfully. As the other person was speaking, she spotted the power switch behind the counter and decided to use it. She grabbed the nearby TV, intending to turn off the lights and disrupt the killer's vision. However, after several attempts, I still couldn't hit the switch. Just as the woman lost all hope, she accidentally bumped into the shelf behind her. Only then did he notice the mirror stand beneath the shelf had wheels attached. He pushed the shelf slowly toward the counter, and the shooter kept firing, but luckily the shelf's shadow provided cover. The woman successfully made it to the counter. After turning off the light, the woman quickly switched the walkie-talkie channel, desperately trying to call for help, but only the killer responded. No one else responded just at that moment. The woman was shocked to discover the clerk's body beneath the counter. She gathered her courage to search for the phone on the store clerk. The outcome was predictable. There's no cell service here at all. Even landline phones and alarm systems were completely disabled by the assassin. With no other choice, the woman noticed the old black dog on the ground again. Taking advantage of the darkness as cover, I got the car keys from old He. He triggered the car alarm. This aims to catch the attention of passing vehicles, but the assassin clearly wasn't going to give him a chance, firing several shots in quick succession. Completely smashed the car to pieces, just as the woman was losing all hope. After turning off the engine, the man walked straight in, but the sight before him left him stunned.
Where's Amelia? The girl who works here.
You need to call the police!
Amelia! Amelia!
The woman shouted, urging them to call the police. The man explained he left his phone in the car and proceeded to ask the woman for details. He turned his head back. I suddenly realized the man had vanished without a trace.
Just
Amelia.
The woman instantly grew wary and quietly reached for the hammer behind her. The man sensed his fear and quickly tried to explain. He's just a staff member here for shift change, not the creepy killer from outside. Yet the woman remained skeptical as he picked up the walkie-talkie, cautiously probing the assassins outside. Yet there's been no reply from them. The woman was convinced the man was the killer unless he went to the car.
What?
Yeah, if he's gone, go get your phone.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna go give
He reached for his phone and touched it. 男人自证清仔细考虑后，最终决定冒险去车里取回手机。The man pulled open the car door, gently reaching for the phone with caution. The woman who witnessed it instantly fell into despair. Somewhere out there a creep is lurking. The assassin has trapped her here for a full 2 hours, blocking her from his view. The woman pulled out an umbrella from the supermarket. Then they all opened up completely. They formed a barrier leading to the supermarket's back door, finishing everything up. He seized the moment and darted out swiftly. A woman risked her life to reach the back door. Little did I know this place had already been secured by the assassin. She grabbed the fire extinguisher but couldn't manage to break the lock open. Then I came across another saw blade. After wrapping it up, I attempted to cut the lock off. I accidentally cut my hand again without realizing it. Just as the woman was losing hope, the sound of sirens suddenly rang out, instantly reigniting her spirit. Desperately banging on the window for help, the police car sped by without stopping. She quickly vanished down the road, leaving the woman no choice but to risk everything. She kept trying to exploit the killer's blind spots. He slowly reached for the car, but just as he was about to open the door, bullets rained down relentlessly, leaving the woman with no escape. I had no choice but to turn around and rush back into the supermarket. The radio crackled with the killer's mocking words. Knowing she was trapped, he tormented her relentlessly, driving her to the brink of collapse. He then picked up the walkie-talkie. He unleashed a torrent of curses at the assassin. But just at that moment, another car pulled up outside with an elderly man inside. Got out of the car. Start filling up your car with gas. It didn't take long before something felt off. He leaned in for a closer look. They discovered the man's body in the car and the woman screamed out loud. He urged the old man to leave quickly and call the police, but as soon as he spoke, the assassin fired a single shot. The elderly woman in the car heard the gunshot. The woman anxiously urged her to stay back as she rushed out to check on her husband. The elderly woman didn't catch it. He stood there bewildered, unsure of what to do next. 2 more innocent lives were tragically lost. She couldn't take it anymore. She stepped out of the
And it's the same choice your mother would have made if she knew what you become!
Just as the woman resigned herself to death, she suddenly noticed a little girl peeking out from the car. Seeing the woman's blank stare at her grandparents, she instantly panicked. She hurried back to the grocery store. He gestured for the girl to crouch down. He then picked up the walkie-talkie, begging the killer for mercy. But when I turned back around, he quickly grabbed a paper and a pen, only to find the girl had already run outside. After writing the slogan on it, he reminded the girl to get back in the car, but before he could relax, the killer appeared. Instead, he proposed a deal. The woman was stunned, and as she couldn't conceive, a rift grew with her husband, perhaps to fill the emotional void. Perhaps opting to give up, she ended up getting involved with her boss Lao Hei. This led to all the hesitations I'm experiencing tonight. The woman agreed to the hitman's offer. She then held up the sign once more. The girl ran onto the road to seek help. Unexpectedly, the girl spotted the man with a bullet wound in the car and panicked. He immediately dashed into the supermarket right at that moment. The assassin finally revealed their true identity. Rushing toward the supermarket, the woman frantically cut the back door lock and thankfully succeeded this time. After bringing the girl into the warehouse, I found that all the doors were locked. There's no way to break free. Left with no other choice, the woman had no choice but to hide the girl, then grabbed a steel pipe, insert sharp sticks to create basic weapons for the killer. As soon as I walked into the supermarket, suddenly launched a surprise attack. Turns out the assassin was a tough nut to crack. 抽出那根锋利的木棒后， they took the woman into custody, pinned against the wall, but before he could speak, she suddenly reached out and grabbed at the mask. The assassin was instantly thrown into a panic. Women seized the moment to rise up in defiance. The woman lunged for the gun, but she was just a second too late. He was quickly knocked down by the assassin. The assassin stepped into the storage facility. He quickly located the girl without any delay. She calmly inserted the key. After rolling up the shutter door, she approached the girl directly, just as she was about to remove the mask. Unexpectedly, the woman woke up startled. He grabbed the fire extinguisher, caught the killer off guard, then turned and motioned for the girl to run. The assassin was completely knocked to the ground. Right after the lift was activated and the assassin was hauled down below. As the elevator descended slowly, the woman tried to catch a glimpse of the man's identity. Unexpectedly, the killer suddenly woke up, gripping the woman tightly and refusing to reveal his face, but in the struggle, he was crushed beyond recognition by the lift. With the crisis averted, the woman collapsed to the ground in relief. She gave it her all and managed to save the girl's life. But I myself was losing too much blood. Before help could arrive, she gradually stopped breathing upon arrival, just like me. The killer's identity remained a mystery until the very end.